You got anything, or do you want me to go with this?
Go with that first.
OK, if you were to compare yourself to an insect, which would it be?
An insect?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd like to be a stick insect. Slimline.
We've got ambitions, haven't we?
Motionless. Oh! It's only 6:15.
We're being compared, or fruit flies are being compared to us, right? So scientists have got a load of fruit flies and taken a look at their sleep and feeding behaviour, and they found that actually they're sociable creatures because what the scientists are trying to find out is the link between loneliness and insomnia and in humans, and so observing fruit flies. And fruit flies mimic the behaviour of us when we've lived in pandemic conditions, you know, isolation. So what they did is they isolated them. They put them through lockdown conditions, and they found that when a fly was isolated, right, it ate more and slept less. And then it's identified all the genes that are connected to this, which would help lots of people in terms of loneliness and sleep deprivation and eating patterns. And there's been a problem of weight gain, significant weight gains, particularly in the United States over the pandemic. So fruit flies are helping us.
They tell us what we're
But they like company.
What are you? You're like a little hornet, aren't you? Buzzing around, stinging. You know it's true. Here you go, look at this in the Telegraph. This is going to cause some stinging. I tell you what, this is a road just outside Bournemouth, and we've seen quite a lot of trouble recently, haven't we, about drivers and cyclists getting annoyed with one another. Well, a lot of cyclists, motorists here are annoyed that the cyclists now have a cycle lane which is more than 11 feet wide, but the road itself only 9 foot 5 inches wide, and they're looking across at all this space that well, it's probably a very clever picture there of the single cyclist. It probably gets a bit busier than that, but it just shows the conflict and the challenge for councils, doesn't it, as they try to accommodate both camps.
Yeah, what I would say, though, is like when drivers do complain about cycle lanes, if you go on cycle lanes, so many are full of potholes, there is a reason that they need to be almost wider. I mean, everyone's upset with the potholes that we're seeing at the moment, aren't they? But they need to be wider because you spend a lot of time just avoiding potholes in those cycle lanes. And then, of course, you should give a decent amount of room to a cyclist. Yeah. I'm not saying that the balance is right, is correct there, but I do think that that needs to be considered. Also, we're being encouraged to cycle more, aren't we, and not use our cars. Yeah, so if they're going to be the ideal picture of, you know, lots of cyclists along there, some overtake each other. I'm in the slow lane. Often people will be whizzing past me.
That's only 2 kilometres of a 27-kilometre route as well.
Did you know, so we love this job, don't we?
We do.
Never boring. If you did have a boring job, could lead to the onset of early dementia. So if you find your job interesting, with what this latest scientists from University College London have found, is that those with mentally stimulating and demanding careers are a third less likely to suffer age-related memory loss and have lower levels of damaging proteins in the brain, which had been linked to dementia. So, you know, the joy of coming in here.
Does you good.
Getting the mind going.
Keeps the grey matter ticking over.
Yeah.